Is this freaking awesome or what? There's one in every crowd, isn't there? Just happens to be Bruce Waterman, and it's his birthday today. So
hey, happy birthday, Bruce. Tonight.
So you guys, let me just ask you by a show of hands, how many of you own a business? I don't mean necessarily your SendOutCard business, but you own a business. Raise them high. Look around the room, you guys. This is huge for us. So I just want to share with you just a couple of minutes of my story, because if you would have asked me in 2006, I would have raised my hand. I owned an equipment rental company for the film and television equipment in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. And I'll tell you, I was not looking. I had never heard the term network marketing. I had never heard of SendOutCards. I had never heard of any of that. I simply rented film and television equipment to some of your shows and horrible movies that you've watched in your... Yes, that's a different story. Different meetup group. Okay, so here's what happened. Here was my story. Our company had an $80,000 a year marketing bill. Anybody from Los Angeles remember the LA 411? Okay, so it's a phone book basically for the film business, and it was the only place that you could market your business. Now remember, this is before Al Gore invented the internet. Okay? Oh, right? Cody's in the room, so I'm just kind of making him nervous, right? No, so every year, it was $80,000 to put our business in that phone book. We had to have a 2-page ad, because you weren't a player unless you had a 2-page ad, and that was it. One year, they actually misprinted our phone number and our address. Yeah, and you only got one shot. They printed it one time a year. It was horrible. So every month, I had to put $8,000 away in a savings account for my one-time $80,000 a year bill, right? Yeah, I still have heart palpitations thinking about it myself, right? So completely randomly one day, I happened to be sitting next to my business partner, and I was lightly complaining about spending $80,000 on a printed ad. Phoebe's laughing because she knows that what lightly complaining means. And a friend of mine, and I say friend, although that's not really accurate. He was a quasi-acquaintance. Okay, I barely knew him. And he called me on the phone at the office, and he said, "Hey, Casey, do you ever send out thank you cards to your clients?" And I said, "No." He said, "Why?" My first answer was, "Because I'm a dude." That was my answer. And then he said, "Well," and I said, "Okay, well, let me say it further. It's expensive. I don't remember people's, why. We worked with freelancers, so we didn't have their addresses." Does this all these excuses sound kind of familiar to you guys? Those of you that are in our business probably made them. And so he said, "Well, I have a system." Now, let me just say this. I understood the power of thank you cards, but there were too many roadblocks for me to be effective with it, right? Freelance clients, no idea where these people landed afterwards. It's expensive, so on and so forth. So I said, "Peter, look, unless you're telling me that this system that you're calling me about will print it, lick it, stuff it, stamp it, and take it to the post office, I'm not interested." And then he said the magic words. He said, "Then I'm going to keep talking." And I said, "You don't need to keep talking. My credit card's out." I believe I'm the fastest close in the history of SendOutCards. From call to close, it was less than 5 minutes. And I said, "I want the biggest package." Because as a business owner, at the time, it was around the same price. It was around $800. At the time, for me, when I'm comparing $80,000 to a system that will do what I know it will do and I can make it work, $800, like, no brainer. My credit card was out. I signed up immediately. So we get the system and so on and so forth, and I started sending out cards to our clients at their office. Now, let me ask this. How many marketers are in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, so if your hand is raised, we, as a collective group, as marketers, pretty much ruin everything, right? And I was no exception. I went to business school and I got a marketing degree, so I thought, oh my gosh, I can get people to open my greeting cards, and now I've got a place to put my logo, right? So I was like, this is awesome. So we started sending out cards by the gazillions. They had our logo on the front of it. You open it up. We had our phone number, our fax number. It was old. Our email address, our website, a map to our locations, a coupon code. We had everything in that card except the GPS coordinates to our shop. And we're sending these cards out, and we're sending them out, and we're sending them out, and we're sending them out, and I'm just waiting for the cash register to start ringing. And guess what happens? Nothing. We don't even get a call. And I'm like, this system is stupid. What a waste. Good thing it was only $800. Well, just then, I start getting notices that they're going to have a SendOutCards convention. I'm like, I wonder if there'll be other business people there that can tell me how this thing will work. So I go up to Salt Lake City, and the whole staff in my office is like, oh, geez, what is happening up there? So I go up there, and I will never forget this. Do you guys ever have moments in your life where things change, like monumental changes and shifts, and they happen in an instant? Transformation happens literally in a nanosecond, right? And so here I was up in Salt Lake City with only one intention. That intention was to find other business owners that could tell me the magic secret sauce that would make that cash register start ringing. There's this guy named Jordan Adler. I didn't know who the guy was, really. I kind of knew who he was, but he was doing this little workshop. And the workshop, I'm not joking, you guys, was probably his team workshop was like this big. There were like 25 of us in that room. And I'm just going, okay, how does this thing work? How do I make some cash with this, right? So Cody Bateman, our founder and CEO, came in, and he was talking to all of us. And I'm going to be totally upfront with you guys. I wasn't listening to a word he was saying. I'm like going, when is the combination of how I make my money with this marketing system? And I was getting madder and madder and madder. The more he started talking, I got madder and madder because he wasn't telling me the secret sauce. And then he very calmly, collectively, without fanfare, he literally was like, you know what, guys? Oh, I'm getting shivers just saying it. He's like, you know what, guys? Appreciation will win out over self-promotion every single time. In an instant, I got it. I literally walked outside, I called our staff, and they were like, oh, geez, hocus pocus happening in Salt Lake City. And I said, no cards go out until I get back. When I got back, we changed our philosophy entirely. Everybody in our staff, every single person that called our company, it was, we're the company that likes to celebrate birthdays. When's your birthday, and where should we send the card? The freelancers all gave us their home addresses. Now, freelance film production people having their home address is about as worthwhile as gold, right? So we started sending out cards, and our rule was we could not put our logo on it, our phone number, our fax number, our email address, nothing. The only place it could say anything about our company was in the return address of the envelope. That was it. Dear Dana, thank you so much for letting us bid on the job. I know we didn't get the job, but I just really want to say you're super smart. Thank you so much for letting us bid on it. Bam, sent it out, $1.17. Then I got smart, and I started sending out a card to Taya, Dana's boss. Taya, hey, thank you so much for hiring Dana. She's super smart. We're super excited for you guys to work on the show. I know we didn't get the job because we were the most expensive in town. But super smart. Thank you for hiring her. She's awesome. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call. And then I would send one to Cody Bateman, the producer, the big head honcho. But this time, I added brownies. And we sent it to the office. And the card went, Dear Cody, thank you so much for hiring Taya and Dana. They're super smart and awesome, and I'm sure you're going to have an unbelievable show. Doesn't look like we're going to get to work with you guys on this one, but I just wanted to reach out and say thank you, and I appreciate you hiring some amazing people. And that was it. All in, about $8, maybe 10, right? Our phones started ringing so fast, off the hook, we started doubling revenues over and over and over and over again. Without sharing numbers, we sold the database with that company. The database of SendOutCards that we built up was $500,000. It was exactly half of the sale of our entire business because we became the company that was not in the LA 411 the next year, yet we were growing so fast. We went from number 23 in our marketplace to number 3 in just under a year.
Because of it.
Gang. For you business owners, for those of you that raised your hand, I'm begging you, let tonight be the night that you change from a marketer to an appreciator. It will change your business forever. From there, all I did was start sharing SendOutCards with literally anybody that would listen. And here we are today. You guys have a great rest of the weekend tomorrow. We'll be back. I'll be back with you guys a little bit tomorrow. I'm happy if you want to pull me aside and you have any questions for me during tonight or tomorrow. Happy to help. Steve, thank you so much for letting me come up and share. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.